Hello, 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 Virginia's virtual viewers and Wings of Wisdom listening audience. We have Mr. Leroy McClure back by popular demand. We've been diving deep all month on the AAAs. So he is going to give our new viewers a brief bio, and then we are going to focus on the AAAs. If you don't know what they are, the first A is attitude, and our second A is academics, and our third A is athletics. And we are going to tie these three together and how they all intertwine so that you too can soar on your own wings of wisdom. Mr. Leroy McClure, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Well, listen, I'm excited about being here with you again. And when I think of the three A's, like you said, attitude, academics, and athletics. And I have written three books, and the first one was about athletics, the second one was about academics, and the last one is attitude. And the reason the last one was attitude, as you well know, I'm recovering from a stroke. And my attitude had to be right in order for me to recover from the stroke. When I was the CEO of a school that I founded called Focus Learning Academy, and the high school was called AAA. Again, there we go again, AAA Academy. Um, it was exciting to be a part of directing and training teachers and students. I did that for 20 years. Now I'm kind of in a chill mode. I'm resting. I'm trying to recover from my stroke.
Wow. So tell me this, in your experience, how does attitude, academics, and athletics all intertwine to foster personal success?
Well, I think of it as think, choose, and do the
Mm.
strategy for the game of life. Think is more academic. You know, there are times when you ask young people, why did you do that? And the first thing they say, I don't know. I wasn't thinking. Okay. And then when you look at life, 10% of life is what happened to you. And 90% of life is what you choose or how you choose to respond. And then do. At the end of the day, Virginia, we're going to be asked, we're going to be told, not well said, but well done, my good and faithful servant. So I tie them together because I believe there has to be a balanced approach.
Yes, it has to be a balanced approach. Wings of Wisdom is built on biblical principles, so I'm so glad that you emphasized on that main biblical principles. But I know in Romans 12:1, it talks about renewing your mind, and it's a whole new way of thinking. And our mind has to be transformed because the way we're doing something may not be the exact way that we should do it in order to get a successful result. So let's say, I beseech you, therefore, brethren, by the mercies of God, if you present your bodies a living sacrifice, holy and acceptable unto God, and be not conformed to this world, but be
Yes.
ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. So it's vital that our mind is renewed daily. And I love the fact that you said that we have to first think before we do.
Yes. And you
Go.
know, over in Philippians 4, verses 8 and 9, it says, um, in closing, my brothers and sisters, whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is righteous, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable, if anything is excellent or praiseworthy, think of these things. Then it goes on to say, whatever you have learned from me, whatever you have received from me, whatever you have heard from me, and whatever you have seen in me, just put it into practice. And may the God of peace be with you.
Yes, yes. Now, for those individuals who are actually striving for success, and those individuals have already actually attained, a successful life, how does these three pillars, uh, you know, embody success? The attitude, the academics, and athletics.
Well, you've heard the saying that your attitude determines your aptitude. If you don't have the attitude of Christ, it's impossible to please God. And that's where it starts. You have to have I believe, you must have a relationship with God first. And then find out what his calling is. What is it is? What's your purpose for being here? And once you find your purpose and your gifts, then you excel and make the best of it. But always look at it's not what others can do for you, but what can you do for others?
Mm, that was one of those presidential quotes. Not ask not what you can do for your country. Right?
It was, but Virginia, when I started my first company, I was focusing on why was it that my brother was able to do so many things, very creative, but yet he had difficulty with reading. It just didn't make sense. So I had to go on a journey to figure out why my brother could not read. And then when I discovered it, I started my school, Focused Learning Academy and AAA Academy. So it wasn't that I grew up wanting to be in the educational business. It just turned
Mm.
out that way because that was my calling.
Yeah, so the love of your brother, Sammy, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know, Leroy McClure's brother's name is Sammy, and he has his book on why Sammy still can't read, and that is pertaining to the academics. That's what he dived deep on in that specific book. And that's the inspiration of writing the book because of the love of your brother. And it's amazing because, like you said, you didn't know that you was going down this path, but academics came easier for you than it did for your brother. So the love that you had for him, you said, I got to figure this thing out. And going down this pathway, not only did you help your brother as a certified language
Therapist.
professional therapist, you help so many other individuals. So it got to be so rewarding for you.
It is, I've we have helped thousands of children, but also adults, because what we're finding is that 20% of our population have what we call dyslexia. And dyslexia is when you have problems with words. That could be reading words, spelling words, using words, or either processing words. And that is very prevalent in the African American community, and we are unaware of it. And we tend to hold people back or chastise them because they're not able to master English language one way or another.
Yes, yes, yes. That academic, it is tough because we learned that, everybody got different
Learning
learning styles.
styles. Yes, yes, they do. They do. And that's visual, auditory, or kinesthetic with the hands on. And my brother can do almost anything with his hands. That's why he's an artist. And that was his learning style. But when it comes to reading, oh, it was like a foreign language to him.
And the school system do not actually realize this. They just focus on one way of learning.
Yes, uh, in the school system, for the most part, they do an average job, a pretty good job. However, that's for 80% of the kids, but they're missing 15 to 20%, and that includes us. And usually, when we don't get it between first and third grade, then we develop a learned behavior, and that's acting out. And when we start acting out, now all of a sudden we're labeled as a child with a behavior issue. But in the beginning, we came to school to learn, and it didn't happen. So we had to start acting out, trying to get some type of attention.
Yes, I remember as a kid myself, I could not speak. So this is crazy that I'm actually on Wings of Wisdom, giving inspirational and motivational speaking to the public, because nobody could understand me but my sister, and she's actually on right now. My mother would say, "What is that girl saying?" She would say, "She just wants a peanut butter and jelly sandwich." But I had to go to school, and I had to have actually a certified language professional come in, and we would just go over the alphabet because I could not articulate properly. And I really had trouble with the R's. I could not speak clearly, and we had to roll those R's, and we went over it over and over and over again. But it was difficult for me to speak. I think that's why I try to announce everything in perfection now, because I had to overcome that obstacle. So tell us how we can keep a positive attitude when we're trying to overcome different obstacles in our life. I know with your stroke, you was able to do that in recovery when you wrote your book post stroke. I am not bitter, I am better. So help us with the obstacle part of
There comes
challenge.
times when you have to get your eyes off of yourself and focus on other people. In the beginning, I put so much emphasis on when am I going to get back to normal? When am I going to get out of here and get home? And looking for the destination. But when I recognize, why don't I enjoy the journey and learn something as I'm enjoying the journey? When I say enjoy the journey, there were many patients that were. I was in rehab for 2 years, 1 month, and 18 days, 5 hours a day. I had 4 classes every day, Monday through Friday. And when I recognized there's a lot of patients in worse shape than I'm in, and when I start loving up on them, when I start compassionately uh, speaking to them and and start focusing on what was in their best interest, then I recognized them getting better. And the more I did it, the better I got. So, and over in Proverbs 11:25, it says, "A generous man will prosper. Whoever refresh others will be refreshed." So that's what I started doing, was refreshing them, encouraging them, inspiring them, helping them see the glass as half full instead of being half empty, helping them recognize, listen, you are an overcomer. You're already a winner. When I say that, what I mean is annually 800,000 people have a stroke. 20%, which is 160,000 of them die. Because we're here still on top of Earth, instead of Earth on top of us, we are winners. We are stroke survivors. So that's something positive to think about and praise the Lord for.
Yes, yes. I just heard Miles Monroe not too long ago said, actually, we're 1 in 5 million sperms. So you're already a winner in the womb because
Yeah.
you actually swam and connected with that seed in the womb.
Yes.
God knew us before the foundation of the earth. So we were winners in the womb. And then
And
we
he
come out
said
and
you
we're
were
still winners.
wonderfully and marvelously made.
Yes.
So what, you don't get it like the person next door. That does not mean you're not smart or you can't get it. One of the things we need to do more of is encouraging. We need to encourage more with reference to when we say encourage, we need to build up self-esteem. I see our people tearing people down a lot. We don't mean any harm, but it's just a habit.
Yes, it is. It is. So as we strive to integrate the triple A's in our lives, how do you suggest we, maintain balance, harmony with the challenges of life, a positive attitude? How can we kind of just maintain that so that we can ensure sustainable success?
Well, it first starts with hope. We must keep hope alive. And the Bible says that hope deferred causes the heart to be sick, but dream fulfilled is a tree of life. And it starts with hope. And hope, I believe, is a waking dream, according to Aristotle. Hope is a waking dream. And we need to have visions, have dreams. Not big ones. Sometimes they're too big. You know, I dream of when I play baseball, I dream of hitting a home run. But if I kept trying to hit a home run, guess what? I strike out all the time. But why don't I just get on base? You just get on base. If you get on base, you're still in the game of life. Get on first base. And while you're on first base, you'll get to meet some people and help encourage them make their life better. And then you get to second base. And then the third base. And then sooner or later, you get to come home. After 2 years, 1 month, and 18 days. And when it's time to come home, you don't even want to come home because you're having so much fun in the journey of life of helping people. That's what it's all about.
That's what it's all about. You're walking down my pathway. I was with the airline industry for 25 years, and there was so many destinations that I wanted to get to. But I enjoy the journey along the way because sometimes the destination was 15 hours away in the air.
Wow.
So I would fly to Dubai or China from Washington, D.C., and we were in the air for 15 hours. And they say, what time are we going to get there? Well, we got another 14. So enjoy the journey because once you get to your destination, that's the time for the celebration. So give Virginia's virtual viewers one last golden nugget so that they could really incorporate the triple A's in their lives. I know I told them on our last episode that Tiger Woods' father wrote a book on how to train a tiger, but Leroy McClure wrote a book on how to raise a king. And Mr. King McClure was able to embody all three A's, the academics, because he had over 100 scholarships, including Harvard. And he was able to master the athletics in your book, The Principles, The Shot Doctor, Nothing But Net, based on the basketball principles, and The Attitude. He is now an analyst with ESPN. So that says a lot that your son, the apple don't fall far from the tree, was able to incorporate all 3 A's and have mastered attitude, academics, and athletics. So Virginia's virtual viewers and Wings of Wisdom listening audience just need a golden nugget how they can incorporate the 3 A's and execute this in their lives so they can be successful as well.
Virginia, no one says that life is going to be easy. It is hard work, but it's also heart work. The Bible tells us that we can do all things through him that strengthens us. So the things that I'm saying that I've done, they have not been easy, but they've been hard work, and it doesn't even seem like it's work. I enjoy it so much that even if I didn't get paid, I'm good.
Wow. I love it. Ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys, now is the time to share on your electronic toys. We are so excited that Mr. Leroy McClure was able to drop these golden nuggets, words of wisdom. And I know our Father tells us in basic instructions before leaving earth, Wings of Wisdom is built on biblical principles and Psalms 1:1. You should be like a tree planted by the rivers of water in due season. If you focus on your heart work, your purpose, and you can prosper, and you too can soar on your own wings of wisdom. So thank you for leaning in. We're so excited that you took the time out and embraced the AAA's, attitude, academics, and athletics. Have a wonderful Wednesday.